Let me reload. Says it's not live yet. This guy messaged live. Oh, we're on Twitch?
scuff, 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 scuff. This is the scuff song. This is why you don't trust me to set up a stream. Shit's gonna go wrong right away. Hello, hello everybody. Welcome to another Digimon Tamers Abridged behind the scenes episode breakdown. Yeah. Oh, immediately as soon as we go live, we get a oh my god, thank you. A kid for you with a emotional damage membership. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining the members. Yeah, also, thank you someone for pointing out how there was Storm's audio was coming in. Funny enough. Oh, well, quiet? What the
They can hear you. I'm just quiet.
God,
apparently.
okay, yeah. I had to turn you off on the pre-stream thing, and then funny enough, because you all pointed out, I turned off Storm's audio, which was the Discord audio, and then immediately Nick comes into the chat and just goes, "Give me a number between 1 and 20," and I panic. It's like, why did the DM do this?
Can you all hear me now?
Oh no, it was on my end. You don't have to adjust your gain.
No, I'm just asking. Okay, now they can hear me. Fantastic.
Yeah, scuff, scuff.
So if you're new here and you're wondering, it looks like there's two hosts, but I can only hear one. That's because we're twins. Hi.
That's right. We're not going to be able to succeed in any discernible way to have you tell voices apart, which is why we have the reactives. Hi.
Look for whichever one is bouncing.
Speaking of which, hi, I'm RedBeast. I'm a video editor here on the Abridged Lines channel. I edit Digimon Abridged, Digimon Tamers Abridged, and I also edit all of the shorts and behind-the-scenes content that you see on this channel. And I'm joined by...
Hi, I'm StormSage. I am the other twin. I'm one of the writers for Digimon and Digimon Tamers Abridged, and likewise, we both are players for the Digimon D&D stream.
Yeah, I play ER, Storm plays Grayson, and we also voice a few characters in the Digimon Abridged series.
Like, I play Joe.
And I play Gomamon. But yeah, we're excited. Y'all are freaking mad lads. Digimon Tamers Abridged Episode 2 has been up for 1 week. And y'all got to 14K views. What the fuck?
My god.
Yes, Superlord Ender, the one in green is red, and the one wearing red is Storm. You cracked the code.
Yeah. One of us only tells truths, the other only he tells lies.
I think the chat box it's only showing stuff from the Twitch stream. Oh well. But
I'm
yeah.
on both Twitch and YouTube.
Yeah, but we have a chat box on screen, and it's showing favoritism. How dare it? Anyway. So Storm, if you can man the chat while I kind of take point here on the behind-the-scenes going-ons of things.
Copy that.
So, for those of you who don't know, we went to production of Digimon Tamers slightly before we actually got started with the stream itself, so we had a few concepts already baked in. And we wrote episodes 1 through 3 all together, so we had a bit of an idea of where we wanted to go starting off. And that helped in pacing a few things, so let's hop on into the editing on these episodes.
As I'll quickly say, whoever compared us to Para and Docs, thank you. Thank you, Fortune Cookie.
We are the Para and Docs. Oh my god, we could cosplay those guys if it wasn't racially insensitive of us. Funny enough, the Gate Guardian was like my favorite OG card. But yeah, like something that I have to deal with a lot in editing Digimon footage is the ugly animation errors. If you've seen my behind the scenes on Digimon Abridged Episode 2, you know what I mean? And we're going to have a tradition that's forming here. So, But let's start with a simple one first. In the original version of this shot, Takato just kind of pops in, like boop, just pop. And
Oh,
I did not like how that looked. It seemed really abrupt. So what I did is I took an element of Takato, and this is a shot of Takato later on in the episode itself. Like later on in the same shot. I masked him out and just repositioned him where I wanted. I did that first here, where he's just barely coming on screen. Then brought him here, a little bit lower, as if to simulate his walk cycle. But because he's behind Gilmon, I had to mask out this section of Gilmon to put back on top of him. Then boom, all's good. I did also have
a lot of these.
Yeah, unfortunately. This wasn't even the worst animation error that I had to deal with. You want to see something fun?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so what a lovely shot of chaos and explosions. Boom, chaos. So you want to see how the shot originally looked?
Sure.
Okay, so look at this. No, not that. Look at this. Look at this. We're gonna maximize this. Here it comes. The explosion. What the? Hey, Storm.
Yes.
You've been in a traffic collision. Is that how it's supposed to look?
Well, my traffic collision didn't explode, but
Also, I should probably try and screen share for you so you're not watching the delayed stream.
yeah, I was going to mention something about that, but I didn't want to be rude.
Oh well.
Also, my traffic collision didn't come with a fox throwing diamonds at me.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, something. This is something that I see often. Something got screwed around in the cell layers. So the diamonds are now underneath the core layer, and the explosion is just. I think they drew the core and explosion together, maybe because of how the car is kind of shifted. Yeah, because the lighting on the car is changing with the explosion. I just noticed that. So maybe that's one element that they didn't line up correctly or didn't care. So what I did is I just masked the explosion on top of the car. So I had to go frame by frame and just slowly handle that until we were at full capacity on that. Still not the worst one I've had to fix. Rotoscoping is fairly straightforward, it's just time consuming.
Yeah, that's like for those of the audience. After we're done scripting, that's kind of where my involvement ends. So you working Eldritch RedBeast magic on the footage, I don't see that until like the earliest rough draft. I'm like, oh, I don't remember that shot happening that way in the show, and you just be like, that's because I made it.
Yeah. And sometimes we catch these shots while we're scripting, and sometimes we don't. And it only happens when I'm actually editing the episode. I'm just like, I'm gonna need to fix that.
Which is weird because a lot of the times these are like frame blinking you missed it mistakes, but you're you.
Yeah, I've gotten so used to catching them. Speaking of, this shot is a little wonky. Let me see if I can actually bring up how it was originally. Stop saving. I'm not gonna be editing you anymore. Okay, so I'm going to actually have to do 2 marks to show you what happened here. So initially there was this shot here with Renamon, then it cuts to Takato and Rika, and then Gilmon walked into frame for him to have. No, don't go ahead. You've skipped the step. Premier, how dare you disobey me? It's going to be rewind real fast. Yeah, Gilmon walks in. Do you see it? Let me maximize it so you can see a bit clearer. Look at the background.
Mm-hmm.
The background
Oh,
plate subtly shifts.
well,
Now,
clearly Guillimon's just that heavy.
now, I want to ask you all, how the fuck do you handle that?
Not easily, I imagine.
No. So, actually, this one was surprisingly simple. I just had to take the Guillemon animation and just rotoscope him back into the shot, making sure to not bring in stuff that would shift, like what's under his arm, and slowly bring him in. Now, one
So
thing
you're saying
you'll
it was easy. All you had to do was cut out a dinosaur, have it walk into a scene,
yeah.
and just drop it in like it didn't do anything. Yeah, perfect.
Something that I have learned as of late is it's actually simpler to do this in multiple masks. So Guillemon's arm is its own mask, each ear is its own mask, his head, body, tail, and each leg all their own masks. This makes the process easier and allows me to adjust edges cleaner if I need to, like if, for example, like oh no, this one section was off. Now I can just adjust that one section as opposed to adjust the whole mask. And I
Because
do
in the past, you would go ahead and just do it all as one mask.
yeah, if you go back on Digimon Bridge episode 2 behind the scenes, you can see how I made everything just one single mask. Uh, this helps things go by a little faster and it gives me more control. Uh, Speaking of, the funny thing is, this was not the hard one. So you want to see something funny?
No, why would I want to see humor in a parody series?
I have a little saying here when it comes to this episode. All my problems begin and end with Terriermon.
Ah,
So I'm just going to play this section and watch the lights. Oh, goddamn! We got what? I got a notification. Oh, thank you. That alert is way off. Thank you. We got someone who just pledged to the Patreon. Thank you so much. Let me move that to the side because your name got cut off. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, but yeah. So
uh, Eric Williams. I assume there's like a D
Derek,
for
yeah,
Derek Williams.
yes, thank you, Derek.
Welcome
Uh,
to the Patreon.
Nick is in the chat. Tiamat is always a menace. So during this section here, there's the smoke and the background shifts again. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Well, clearly that's a tragic earthquake that's happening right now.
Yeah, the building collapses and everyone dies, and the series ends at episode 2.
Weird.
Yeah, so the first thing I had to do was isolate everyone who needs to be isolated. So I have my base plates, and I have. Let's see, what are these? Oh, this is all just Gargoyle's face. I'll get into that in a second. So I just lock the shot after the shift, and everything after that, I just rotoed the smoke.
Darkness. We will talk about those lines in just a bit.
Yes, thank you. I'm actually coming up on that. So I actually just all I had to do was mask this out using the roto brush. One of the few times I'll actually use that tool instead of doing it manually. And I just keyframed the opacity to dissolve it out myself. But Darkness did comment on the eye lines, which the way the shot originally looked was this.
So, if you're anything like us who grew up with the show, those came out of nowhere, and like no one knew why those lines were there. Me and all my classmates just kind of chalked that up to like anime expressions being weird, uh, like gloom face kind of stuff.
But
But
what we
that's actually
do,
not the case.
yeah, the way Storm and I work on this is we script off the dub, but I edit the Japanese Blu-rays. And when going through the Blu-rays, I saw that when Renamon is on top of Gargomon, she actually scratches the fuck out of his face, and those are scars. So I was like, oh, And initially I left those in, but it was actually Coffin who suggested, because he knows me so well, that I can just remove those. So what we have here is a color layer of Gargomon's face, recreating, like, just covering all those sections. But if I just have these, you can see it kind of it makes the edge kind of ugly. So I grabbed instances of just the lines on his face and kind of patched those sections together. There we go. You're beautiful, Gargomon. You're lovely.
He's always been handsome. Look at my boy.
Yes, beautiful.
Surely
So-
that was the most complicated effect here, right, Red? Like in the
We'll get-
entire episode.
We'll get to that. That's something that I do for what I call continuity, because we never had that shot happen. So for us, that just never happened.
For us, Renamon just stayed up in the rafters, just checking out all this go down. Ah,
Oh, we got Dr. O2, who also went to the Patreon on the 7 Deadly Daughter tier.
thank
Hell
you very much,
yeah.
Doc.
Oh, hey, we got Hut Noir in this Twitch chat. Hell yeah. Oh, speaking of continuity, we had the same thing happen here with Rapidmon. That's way later. Gargomon. The funny thing is, Chase brought this to my attention, like, in the final pass of editing. He was like, you could fix that easily. And I was like, you're right. But yeah, I just had to hide the damage on Gargomon's face. Speaking of damage, Storm,
Yes.
who did we have in this episode who was very difficult to work with? Who was in for like 2 shots?
Why? I do assume you're talking about Kalumon.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I had
Oh my god, he's gonna shoot me. Don't shoot me, Gargomon. You're one of my favorite. Okay. Oh god, he's back.
Yeah, I had to move the scars from this shot too. This one was a bit trickier, but we made it work. But yeah, I do mean. Oh wait, no, I'm ahead of my script. We got to do some damage to Terriermon first.
Ah, of course.
No, I'll skip ahead to Calamon. So, Calamon's in this episode for blink and you miss it moments. It was like, what do we do with you here? So, because he's standing on a car, we figured, let's blow him up. So,
My dad's other car.
yes. So, this was actually pretty simple. I just took him from... Actually, it's sure like this. Open the mask layer. I said, open the mask layer. What the fuck?
Oh, we got someone who's just subscribed.
Oh, nice. Thank you. So, we have...
Veteran Jack, I think. Thank you very much.
Why are you nuts? Oh, this is its own layer that I made. So, oh, I know why. This is actually an element I made for episode 1. This is the same element I made of Kalmon hitting Hypnosis Tower. I just rendered this as its own transparent sequence and slapped it on here. And I put behind the explosion and just slowly tinted him red with the environment. Just to have him involved in the story a little bit. Also add these shot effects just to make the impact a little heavier on the car. And to hide that Kalmon wasn't on the hood. Going back to stabbing Terriermon, what I believe Nick has fantasized about doing.
This was fun. Susie
yeah.
was fun to write for.
Yeah, to everyone who has enjoyed Susie, you are going to love her in episode 4. We really delve into the chaos with her. So I wanted to add damage to Terriermon's head with the whole scissor bit that Storm kind of came up with. So this is how the shot originally was. She was patting his head, just like being all cute. So I first needed a clean plate to remove her hand for its entire motion. Then I had to put in the scissors, which is a pre-comp of just a closed hand and the scissors. Come on, go to the correct layer when I talk to you. Come on.
Oh, your
20.
master, obey us.
Comp 20. Dr. Name 0219 also went to the Patreon for the $7 deadly dollar tier. Hell yes.
Thank you. Welcome to the Patreon.
Yeah, so pre-comp, and then I had to apply a mat. This would... so the mat is actually just a single white section of video. So when the scissors are behind that, they actually disappear. I'm using the alpha mat, the alpha values of that to tell the software, when this is behind that, erase this portion of this image. Then I just put in a little red mark here to signify the entry wound. And then throughout the rest of the sequence, I had to kind of 3D rotate the hand and the scissors. It's not super clean, but it's clean enough for this bit. This is one of those effects that only needs to go up to 80 or 90% for the bit to really work.
Also, given the scale of everything and how quickly Susie is moving and where your eye is drawn, it doesn't truly matter that heavily.
Yeah. Something that I had to learn quickly in VFX is not everything has to reach 100% polish. Let's see. Up next, we should talk about my favorite type of things to do, rotoscoping. Now, rotoscoping comes off as something that's very complicated a lot of the time, but it's a pretty straightforward process. It just takes time, which is why nobody likes it. Before we get to that, Storm, anything in the chat that jumps out at you that we want to respond to?
So far, no questions that I've seen. Chat, do you have any questions right now? Feel free to flood us with questions if you have any.
Yeah, while waiting for that, I'll go ahead and start on Jerry, played by the immaculate Chi-Chi. So glad that we got her with this character.
Oh yeah, she was supposed to show up in episode 1, but due to how we had to balance everything in the first episode and like the pacing restrictions, unfortunately we had to cut her from episode 1. But thankfully we were able to walk her into this episode instead.
Yeah, that's kind of been the curse of like these episodes. Like we've really ironed out the pacing, but unfortunately that means that sometimes we have to sacrifice introducing a character, which sucks. But
favorite pizza is the pizza in my hometown. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, we're not going to say the restaurant because we don't want to get doxxed. But so funny thing about this shot, and this happens a lot when it comes to editing Digimon. This is how the shot originally looked like. So y'all want to know a fun story? The Nostalgia Critic actually used Digimon footage that I made in his review of Fox Kids, and I could tell because he cuts to a shot that only exists because I made it. Yeah, this is the kind of shit that I have to deal with. So we wanted just a single shot of Jerry. But with how the footage was working for us, there was no single shot of her. There was like group shots and shots of her in the classroom, either cleaning the classroom or in the middle of class, but nothing like this. So let's see, which episode was this? This is episode 12 I took this shot from. So what I did is I made a color mat of just pure white, and I masked it in her shape. And then I used that to auto trace and oh wait, no, that's yeah. So yeah, I masked her out and used an auto trace to get a single mat out of that. So I had one single mask. And I did that so I could apply a stroke. So that way it looks more, it has that drawn feel that we get. Because if I was to apply the same effect onto my layer with multiple masks, that's on original. We're supposed to get a lot of lines over her, but I'm not seeing. Is it because it's matte? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, not a great time. So, what are you laughing at?
Super Lord Ender. So does this mean Jerry can teleport? But for Darkness Psycho, does Jerry still have the same relationship as originally? No comment yet. We still
Let's just say there's a
we have
reason we.
plans.
Let's just say there's a reason we casted a very talented hit voice actress for Jerry.
Oh yeah, Jerry is a character we are very excited for.
But this wasn't the only instance where I had to do an effect like this. Where I had to roto something in order to get it to walk. We have this shot in comp 3. Okay, so the way this shot originally looked was like this. No, it's ending too soon. Okay, going to Premiere. Okay, so Takato reacts, and that's where the shot just ends. Then we cut to later. We cut back to this shot. Kazu has moved, and Takato moves his hand, his whole pose, and goes like this. I want to cut out like half of that and not have Kazu move at all. So I have to take a still of this after Takato has moved, freeze Kazu's arm, and then resume Takato's animation with just him. Because the background stays the same, I don't have to be as selective with my mask. I can cover the entire background behind Takato as well. Otherwise, we would have gotten this weird doubling of Takato.
So what you're saying is this was the hardest trick you had to pull in the entire series.
We'll
He's
get
thus
to
far.
it. But yeah, I wanted to do this so that way Takato was addressing Jerry and not Kazu. Oh, speaking of adding people into shots. Hi, Uenamon. Bye, Uenamon.
I loved writing that moment.
Yes.
I don't know if this is like a writing weakness of mine, Red, but I love just having people fly across the screen with all the motion blur on and just completely wreck their shits. It's
Yeah.
so much fun.
So the way this shot originally looked. Let me try and bring that up. Yeah, it was just
Red,
Renamon like this, and she just hunches down and jumps. We wanted to skip a lot of this. Like, I took this as a still frame as the base of the shot, masked out Renamon, keyframed her from this side to the other frame, the other side of the frame. Let's see, I made that like what? How many keyframes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like 5 keyframes, 5 frames, and just crank the motion blur. So it just, you can't tell that she's cut off on this edge. then I emphasize her impact with this dust element. I did have to actually change the color of it because it was initially more white. So I just used a tritone effect and match it to the color of the dirt. So I'm sorry, Storm, you were saying?
Yes, we have two questions. Let's start with the one that pertains to you first.
Okay.
Alec Grief asks, so when editing scenes like this, do you have alternate scripts or scenes due to things that just can't work even when editing? So do we have any fallback scenes or stuff prepared in case something just doesn't work in the edits?
Nope. Never. I
We
think
do. We have like rewording of lines, but 9 times out of 10, I feel like you just bully the footage into submission.
so. I have this really bad habit that Chase and Storm have caught on to after all these years, where we write something that sounds really complicated, and it's very tricky, even how we have it in the edit. And it's like, hey, can we actually do this? And I'll say yes. And they will basically ask me, are you sure? Like, do you actually know? Or are you saying yes and are you going to figure it out later? And the answer is also yes. So I will often say yes to an effect without having a full idea on how I'm going to do it. And that's kind of the fun part for me. But uh, I think there was like maybe one or two times where we were really concerned whether or not I can pull off an effect. I can't remember which one it was, but we did have the idea of a backup plan.
I remember we had to pull the cord once based on something that happened in Digimon Adventures, but it wasn't due to lack of limitations. It was just more of running ourselves into a corner and we had to adjust for continuity, I think it was.
Maybe. But funny
Unclear on
enough,
my memory there.
we did have to rewrite a section of episode 1 of Tamers to facilitate for more VFX in order to get around copyright. So funny enough, we've actually had the inverse of that, but we've never actually planned like an alternate script for if a VFX doesn't work. Normally in that situation, we're like, oh shit, YouTube has hit us on copyright, and we're like, oh, we need to rewrite this section. Storm and I will just rewrite the section, re-record it, and then we re-edit it.
It's not so much of a thing we have a plan B baked into the script. It's more of a thing that if our plan A gets messed up upon upload, then we go back and write a plan B.
Yeah, but normally, I even if I'm struggling, I normally don't tell anybody. I'm having a hard time with it.
The other question that we got from where did that question go? Darkness Psycho. Another question. What was the main reason to make Decado suck in the OG TCG? That was mostly, I think, me, or
Yeah,
was
that
that
was your.
you?
No, that was you because you wanted Kado to be more of an underdog, and the way you. So we have Henry, who is very much a pacifist and does not advocate for violence. We have Rika, who is very like good in the TCG. She's like the ideal like warrior battle tamer who first instincts is to fight. And you wanted to put Kato in the middle. So
Oh
you
yeah,
wanted
I remember.
yes, you wanted to kind of basically give him a kind of rookie like starts from
Also,
nothing. Also, it's
also him just being incompetent is so much more fun. It's funnier if he sucks,
it is.
and that's something he can like grow with and get better with as the story unfolds. Who's seeing as Staccato has arguably the best bond with his Digimon out of the three main characters, due to him having the shared physical experience once we get the ultimates.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just something that partially characterization to show that he will grow, and partially just humor because he's kind of like this wide-eyed,
Oh,
like naive. He's like, yeah, but our friendship's gonna win the day. No, tactics will.
I totally forgot I did this. I have this particle layer here that I made of leaves being kicked up when Renamon hit the side. I removed them
The
because
detail.
I removed it because I thought it made the shot too busy. And then I also rotoed Renamon again here to jump to attack and kill Takato and Gilmon. But thank you for those questions. Those are actually really great.
Oh yeah.
Fuck me. We have in my notes. We now move on to a layer I have called Advanced Roto.
Oh, is that the hardest?
Wait a
effect you
minute.
had to
This
do?
isn't an Advanced Roto. This is Basic Roto. This is a lie. I took
So
Takato.
this is.
This is easy. Yeah, I labeled this wrong. This is normal Roto. This is Takato put on top of Rika because I didn't have a good shot of him being scared in the park. Oh, this is something that I started doing in episode 2. This is how his face originally looked. Takato in this shot was originally more kind of like aggressive, like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Why'd you attack my friend?" But we want Takato to be a bit more meek starting off. So I took a shot of him from, let's see, where was this face from? Oh, it's from they were the same shot from the same scene. So thankfully that made the lighting and shadows match better. I did, however, have to add this color layer to the side of his face in order to hide this seam. And
Maybe this was the advanced part.
I'm gonna kick the shit out of you, man. And then I had to also mask the goggles back on top. So face replacements is something that I've had to do since Digimon episode 2. Why are there so many things from episode 2 that are repeating in each other?
Digimon episode 2, Digimon Tamers episode 2. It's like they're after our blood.
It's like I had to extend a walk cycle. Oh, speaking of, I actually had to kind of hodgepodge this entire thing. I had to retime everybody's movements here. Because
Wait.
Yeah?
What was that about walk cycles?
I had to extend a walk cycle in episode 2.
Terriermon.
Damn it! I forgot I did that. We'll get to him. So I had to retime Takato here and Renamon and everybody. That just basically meant that I had to hodgepodge everyone together. Takato himself are 2 masks, and one of them is just his pants. Because Takato is this layer, and I just needed him to be looping. Why is his pants a separate layer? Oh, because Guilmon was getting up all the time. Drop it like it's hot, Guilmon. Dance. Dance.
Dance for the old country.
It's actually funny. I forgot that I did some of these effects. So it was only preparing, coming back to this, that I had to. You! All my problems start and end with Terriermon.
So what you're saying is this is the most difficult scene you had to do.
So this actually, to a degree, yes. I did this shot over maybe between 6 to 12 times because with each iteration I just was not happy. I wanted to keep adding more chaos to it because originally.
Shout out to Grim.
Oh yes, I actually ended up showing this shot to Grim and Coffin, and it came to the point where Grim suggested adding this duck crossing sign with a hole through it. So like, yes.
It's on the head of one of the ducklings.
Yeah, one of the ducks took a hit.
Oh no! Renamon, what have you done?
Can we get some F's in the chat for the duck? Alex, like, I can hear the rage in Red growing. Yes. So what I did is I add a burn element to the ground. I add this crater element, which is actually a displacement to actually break up the ground. These tree elements are actually part of the tree that Gilmon blasted with his pepper breath at the beginning of the fight. And the fire are custom element 2D elements I have uh, that I added blurs on to kind of expand as if it was actually lighting the area. You want to see how this shot looked originally. So here's the shot. And
Distinct lack of carnage.
yeah, it's also like 1 second. 1 second. 1 sec. Oh yeah, this is a shot that actually was created because of the re-edit. YouTube did not like that I used this shot, so I had to composite my own to tell the bots to fuck off. Let's see, where is
Stay on target.
Yeah, staying on target. Looking for Henry and Terriermon. How long was that shot that we used? How long was it? How long was it? Ah, here it is. 3 seconds. And how much is left? Yeah. So
Yes, here Timon goes all the way to the bottom of the hill.
I just love his little waddle.
He's the best.
So yeah, this is as far as Terriermon gets in the original shots. But I wanted him to be running the entirety of Terra's line. So compromises had to be made. I took his little fucking waddle and then like inverted it, like flopped, mirrored it over, and just repeated it and scaled it myself.
It's the best. Just my favorite effect in the entire episode. Look at him go.
Look at him go into emptiness and nirvana.
I must go now. The gulag needs me.
Hey, I know. Escape the gulag. Alec. I'm sorry, Alec. I had no choice.
Now, we could have done a cutaway. We could have done literally anything.
Hey,
But
Alec,
you
you
should know
remember
one thing.
Remember when you asked me if there was any shots that we had to rewrite because I couldn't do the effect? This was not one of them.
So, like I said, I could have stopped Red. I had every chance to. But I actually don't. He's some sort of eldritch horror that must do silly things with anime footage.
If
He cannot be stopped.
if I don't have a really complicated effect due per episode, I get angry. Up next. Oh, now this was a fun effect for 2 reasons.
I remember this.
So this is actually a shot from Digimon Adventure. This is from the Myotismon arc. Now, how do I know that? Because you can see Sora right there. There she is.
Saw. Bakuman, lose your power.
Yep. Because we have this bad habit of writing and not double checking the footage to make sure we know that we have elements. Like people's running and screaming. Yeah. That we can actually pull the joke off. So I scanned through 54 episodes of 2 different Digimon series.
It's funny because we didn't want Guillemon the whole, oh, nah, Guillemon's a costume. Don't be afraid. We didn't want to do that. And we wanted to like make things a little snappier. So we agreed like, the hidden in plain sight and everyone just stampedes. That was our way out of a narrative corner that we had walked ourselves into. And then we realized, shit, we might not have the footage to pull this off. And then,
My
not
initial
even
thought,
20 minutes later, you came back with this.
because my initial thought was I was going to pull from the Sovereigns arc. Because I know that when Indramon showed up, there was a lot of shots of people running, but none of those worked because the time of day was different. So it was easy just to kind of take this section of the sky and pop it on Sora. There's just one problem. It's bitch moves. And thankfully the footage already looped itself, because you can see the same people running. This is the same woman with the baby each time.
Don't diss this twin convention.
Oh, that's right. It's probably a Twinsburg.
Yeah.
Sora being in the shot actually played to my advantage, because I was able to use her as the marker and actually motion track this shot, and then parent the clean plate on top of her. All around, one of the easiest cleanups that I had to do. I say one of the easiest because this one was not. Now this shot is actually a little bit zoomed in from what it's supposed to be. Let's take a look at how the shot originally looked.
Oh, look at all those people.
Yeah.
Who just subscribed. We had
thank
a
you.
new
Yeah, thank you,
Orange
Ojo,
Nova Star.
Yeah. So
Thanks for the follow.
This is how the shot originally looked. And boom.
Meow.
So yeah. Fairly fucking different, isn't it?
So what I'm understanding is Red murdered a bunch of nondiscrete anime background characters.
Yeah. You see, what I did is I got the Infinity Gauntlet on, and I snapped my finger, and I killed them all. What I ended up doing for this is I created what's called a clean plate. Now, I took elements of the background, such as these pillars, and I duplicated just those sections, and I put them on top of people. I took elements of the shrubs and put them on top of people. I did that with a bunch of greenery.
Your businessman, whack. Your business lady, whack. Your family of 3, whack.
I had to put Takato on top again because some of the greenery got over him. And there was some elements I couldn't full on crop out, such as these people on the side. So I just actually zoomed the shot in order to just take them out altogether.
Red, having scripted this episode with you, I could not tell this shot was zoomed in.
Thankfully. And then there's this shot. You want to see how this shot originally looked? All my problems start and end with Terriermon. You little monster.
Look at that little bastard, man. I love him.
Yeah, so this is a situation where I had to actually recreate part of a physical character. So this I had to I ended up just duplicating parts of Henry and paste them back together. Thankfully, we have multiple shots of him from this angle. So we have his shoulder element here. We have Henry as a whole here, because all these other elements are actually erasing Terriermon. And these elements are bringing Henry back. So we're erasing Terriermon from his shoulder here. The background here. Background here. Which thankfully I can just take this from when Henry walks off the frame. And this is all our base mesh.
I didn't even know about this one.
Again, this is one of those effects that I call them unscripted edits, where it's like, okay, I need this shot. Oh, this shot works, but it causes a continuity error. I'll just add out the error.
I wrote this with you. I saw the footage.
Yeah. Uh, Teomon, you're a troublemaker.
And we love him for it.
Yeah. Now this is actually a fun one, because I edit. Now I'm actually not too good at I edits. It's something that PS Weasel does very well. It's actually something that I picked up from him when I worked with him on Demon Slayer and Might Dumb and his Hardcatch series. He is great at animating and cutting out the eyes of characters and adding extra movement to them to just bring life to a very stagnant shot. So it's definitely something I want to pick his brain on more. This one, I just cut out Yuga's eyes and replaced the backgrounds, just so she could quickly look back at Takato after his comments like, "What's the point of having a Digimon if it's not going to Digivolve?" And he's like, "Not fine to."
Fine to the death is a good start.
And she's just looking at him like, "I will fight you to the death, and I will win." Okay,
She
sorry.
would.
Just I love how violent Rika is. It's fun. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can actually pick Weasel's brain about this in the future, so I can kind of liven things up a bit more.
One person's wondering how hard was to edit in Calumon for that one scene from earlier.
Actually, not hard because in episode 1 I had done that for another shot. So because I still have that project file, I just reused that asset, and I was just able to drop him in.
Recycle your assets, folks.
Exactly. Yeah, that's something that if you're doing VFX, don't immediately delete your project files after the project's done. If you have the ability to store them, keep them for a while because you might end up revisiting things. For example, because let's see where that was. Because I've already cut out here, if an episode down the line requires this shot, I already have him cut out. So I can just drop in a new background. So
You do this all the time in Digimon Adventures. You have like a couple different template cutouts of a few of the characters already.
No, I don't. I only just started doing this which is really freaking stupid of me because I've reused the same shot of certain characters multiple times. I should have been doing this.
I thought you had that.
I had those shots archived as like, oh, reuse this. I just didn't have them cut out, which I should have thought to do.
Also, at the time, you're working with different type of footage.
Yes, that's back when I was still using DVD footage.
Well, whoopsie daisies.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of whoopsie daisies.
By the way, Jill, thank you for the question, and we go over it a little bit earlier in the stream, so if you want, you can like check out the VOD out for that.
What was it? Maybe I can backtrack to it.
The Caramon question.
Yeah. So we have another interesting edit here. So we have the shot of Renamon jumping back before this shot happens, but we didn't want all of this. We just wanted Renamon to already be up there before the gunshots go off and just kind of be like, Wallaby. Just kind of be taken aback at what she's seeing. Yeah. So this is what the shot ended up looking like. And I don't know if this counts as an animation error, but all the bullet holes are already in the ceiling. Which is kind of useless because we never see this shot without the smoke. So it's not like the smoke dissipates, so it feels unnecessary.
Those damn yellow scarves shooting up her parking garages.
Ugh. So I went through and removed them, but I never actually wrapped this pipe around the other side because you only really see it for 3 frames before I bring back in the explosion. So I was like, it's not necessary. What's this? That's not in the original. Oh, no, that's just how the smoke looks. No, something got rearranged.
His molecules got all rearranged. Sorry, couldn't resist.
How dare you?
Thank you, Pion, for getting
Whatever.
my Durahara reference.
Yeah, something's all backwards here now. Whatever. Not important. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all of the impressive shots in episode 2. I think that's all the big ones.
Are you sure, Ed? I think you're forgetting one. Perhaps the biggest effect you did in episode 2?
Hold on. Well, I know you can't be talking about this one because this one wasn't me. I saw someone comment that schools are delicious. This was actually all done by Kaduyu, our artist. She was actually able to draw this for me. But yeah, so I just gave her some assets and she was able to actually animate this sequence for me. But yeah, that's all I could think about. That's all I could possibly think of. So we threw Gilmon out of a window.
There she is, folks. So, Ed, if you don't mind me, before we go into the edit itself, I just want to give a little backstory on this scene.
Yep.
So, Red and I were starting, for full context, when we decided to go into production for episode 1 of Digimon Tamers, Red and I had the agreement of before moving on production for episode 1, we want episodes 1, 2, and 3 scripted all together so that we have a sense of idea, that we have a energy of where these stories were going, where these characters were going, have a groove.
Especially since those 3 episodes are very important to start things off. We were like, okay, let's make sure we know what we're going to use.
And the largest criticism of our Digimon Adventure series, I understand, is how long these things take to produce, which is very understandable. But at the same time, Chase is very busy. He can't be everywhere at once. So Red and I wanted to have a little bit of a backlog moving in. We started episode 2 as soon as we finished episode 1, and immediately we got hit with writer's block of how we proceed out of the scene with Staccato and Guillermo talking. And after a good long while going back and forth, Red, you were the one who just suggested that we throw Guillermo out the window.
Quite literally,
Reveal that we reveal the secret to his parents right now, rip the band-aid off, and deal with the consequences of that narratively. Which, that was such a radical shift of what the show is. I was immediately on board.
I just want to also answer this question because for some reason I can't do it in the Twitch chat. LA Noir said, do you have sample effects like that, Dust Cloud from series, or do you have a library that actually matches the art style? I have a library of 2D effects. Sometimes they don't match the art style completely, but I can often color correct them to help match the style as best I can. They're pretty versatile, so they're usually on screen for such a short time that they will usually match what we're using them for. Like, they're fairly generic assets. But I'm sorry, Storm. Back to what you were saying with the shot.
No, totally understand. I was actually pretty much done. Just wanted to say that ever since that one interaction, whenever we get trapped in a scene with writer's block, we'll just say, let's throw Guillermo out of a window and try to think of the most left field ideas to try to navigate a scene. And usually 9 times out of 10, it's works.
It's literally gone us out of writer's block moments in episode 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's right. We've begun working on those episodes now. Writing them, not producing them.
Yeah, they're not recorded yet. So let's go into this pre-comp. So as you can see, this is a long file. So this has what I call like 2 phases to it. There's the beginning where it's just the explosion. The explosion is a 2D stock asset, and so is the fire. I masked out the windows and put the fire behind them. And I also add a orange color layer to kind of act as the glow of the fire in the upper area. We then got to phase 2, where I just brought Guillemon in. I started with a glass shattering asset. Then I brought in Guillemon with motion blur, and I animated him falling myself, brought him to the pavement, added my own shadow here to give him a contact shadow, and then I brought back in a ground crack element. I animated the opacity of that, so that way it would just pop into existence. It would actually kind of form with his landing. And the glass element is real life glass, but it's on the screen for such a short time you can't really tell. And once we have Guillemon on the ground, I also kind of broke up his elements so that way he's several elements, so that way I could twitch his leg.
That's right, folks. We broke real glass for this episode because we're dedicated.
But I did not tell Rel to do this, like the bone crunching on his leg. That was great. I loved that. But the important thing here is I needed all the pacing locked in from the dialogue, so only then was I able to actually start building this. So while it's basically 3 steps, it was very time consuming. The only thing that saved this was knowing that I could pull this footage from episode 4 of Digimon. That's not the one I'm looking for. There it is. Let's see, the mask. Yep, this is from when Guillemon is trying to handstand. You can see him right there.
Look at him go.
I just turned that into him falling. When you put it all together, no one's going to know what it originally was. When you edit, do you go for the easiest ads first, or do you go by the ads needed for the episode? It varies. Sometimes I'll do the harder edits first because they're fun. But sometimes I'll do like the easy ones, such as the rotoscoping people into shots or creating new backgrounds first, because those are, I can crank those out quickly. So it's kind of a case by case basis. Also, kind of depends how complicated the overall episode is, because this episode actually had very few VFX by my standards. This is only about 28 VFX shots. I didn't even cover everything I did because some of it just isn't as interesting. Like I didn't cover this shot with Terriermon just because it's not particularly complicated, so I didn't really talk about it.
Anything else you need to cover there, Ed?
Nope, that was it. That was the grand finale. If you have any further questions, by all means, let us know. I guess we just have a few fun facts now. So, you want to take away with the fun facts?
Sure thing. Give me 1 second.
One thing I do want to say, I saw this comment in the episode. Some of you wanted Terriermon to be screaming with pain with how he was digivolving.
Oh yeah, I saw that one too.
Yeah,
we had actually
go for it.
Yeah, no, we had actually written that into the script and had to record that.
Yeah, I have that pain file, but I don't know. We want the Digivolutions to be like kind of cool moments, so we just decided let's not use this pain screams here.
Yeah, just not yet. We might find a way to work it in later, but for now, we want like the first stage evolutions to really be their own moments. And I know we didn't use moment high in this episode.
We do
Yes.
we do have a joke written for it. We do intend to use it. Like, there was also a version that was in the episode, but for pacing, we had to go with a different joke. When
And go ahead.
when Terriermon and Henry were walking away, Terriermon was going to mention Momentai, but it was easier to go with the Susie joke.
For the sake of transition and for how we built things out, we had a different scene written originally, but after going back and forth, we landed on this.
Oh,
And speaking of Terriermon,
yeah, Vert and Jack, whose idea was it for Terriermon to be Catholic? That was Storm. 90% of Terriermon is all Storm.
Yeah. Speaking of Terriermon, actually, we know a lot of you are hoping that Red would voice his Terriermon, and like he does in Digi Destiny, but it was actually Terriermon was the first one we casted before the game even got started.
Yeah.
Right away, Red and I wanted Terra to voice Terriermon because we knew exactly what we wanted from her and what we wanted from the character of Terriermon, and we knew she could definitely deliver on that.
Yeah, I appreciate the people who were hoping it would be me. I personally did not want to play Terriermon in the show because I thought Terra was perfect for the role. She absolutely slayed it. She did everything that we were hoping for and more.
Oh yeah. She actually improvised a few things and altered a few lines. For example, the pew, 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 pew. That was all her, and we just kept it because we loved it.
Oh yeah. I also saw another question.
We're very thankful that she brought her own fun energy to it. We can have both Terriermons. They're valid.
What was your favorite joke in the episode? Oh man. Ask me what my favorite child is.
Ask me what my favorite cousin is. I mean, I have a list. I get along with some cousins, but
Let's see. Favorite joke from this episode.
One joke that I was very protective over was, I don't think. Oh man, that's a good one. Because I was rewatching the episode, and a lot of these things genuinely made me laugh. One of my favorites is just Terriermon doing his little gremlin cackle and like going up to Renamon like, good effort, 4 out of 10. And then
I will invert you.
That one was, I was very happy with that.
I think one of my favorite is the repeating joke of, I think they like me. They don't.
That's a very subtle one. I love it.
That and no one wants to touch grass.
I was love like I was like, I'm stuck in defense.
Yeah, I remember you were the one that came up with the touch grass joke. Darkness wants to ask, I kind of wish to know the reason behind why you made Gilmon have those 3 words and why you picked those. We hang out, we play, we battle. Are those the 3 words you mean?
Yeah, I believe so.
We
hang out, we play, we battle.
Those were just chosen just to kind of represent how Takado viewed having a Digimon, because his only frame of reference was the card game. So like hanging out with your friends, playing games with them, and as far as he knows what Digimon do, they battle. And we wanted one of those 3 words to set off Guillemon's kind of feral mode.
There's no real reason for battle in particular, just it sort of fits.
Also, thank you, who drilled to the heaven. You shouldn't feel obligated to make certain jokes. After all, you're the ones writing at the end of the day. Thank you.
There were a few things that we just decided to avoid. Because we do have a few certain rules that we tackle with Digimon Tamers and Digimon Adventures. certain types of jokes that we choose not to use on, on this IP.
Yeah. What did I pull from episode 35?
I'm sorry,
Oh,
what?
oh yeah, that's the Digimon Adventure.
Oh yeah, my Osmon.
It's a very self-contained episode, actually. Let's see, what's episode 12? Oh, it's Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Oh yeah, this also actually required additional art assets from Kaduyu. She made Jerry happy for me, because in this shot she's only sad.
Jerry deserves to be happy.
She does. Our girl deserves happiness. So Takao doesn't watch the anime version.
Nick, no. Every Tamers must be homogenous.
This is a good question. So Takao doesn't watch the anime in this version. We haven't actually decided if there is an anime in this version, because that raises the question of, is the anime in their world our abridged series of the original show? And if so, is that kind of like fan wanky? Like, is that self-indulgent of us to have our series be their version of it? If so, does that turn the show to a live action show? It creates so many kind of paradoxes that we're not sure how we want to tackle.
It's more of a clunky thing of like, how do we export it on that cleanly and concisely without being, while making it very clear that they're not referencing another series that we're doing, but they're referencing the in-universe show. So as of right now, we don't have any plans at current to address just the prior series.
Yeah. We're still working a few things out. We're still trying to, like, that's like a big asterisk that we don't know what we're going to do yet.
That can obviously change in the future, but presently we don't have any plans to address that.
Just going through looking for other art assets that Kaduyu made for me to see what else. Oh yeah, there was actually a big art asset that she made for me.
Oh yeah,
in
this
two.
one. This is like the first big edit that we wrote into the episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, one, lip flaps for this. Two, putting the goggles onto this shot, because the scene just ends after Takao. The scene just ends here, but we wanted Digimon not to get it, so we needed to create new shots with his goggles on. If Digimon Adventure and Digidestiny share the same universe or not. Oh,
Yeah,
wait a minute.
kind of like that. How it's kind of, it does and it doesn't.
I just realized that means technically, through the bullshit of Rio,
Oh yeah,
technically,
we're canon to the Digi universe.
no, I mean technically that means Tamers is tangentially also related to Digidestiny.
Yeah, because of the bullshit of Rio.
Dear God, yeah, he has Code Lyoko forehead.
People called Sakura billboard brow.
Let's see. I know this was you right here. This the popping, just like boop 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 boop.
And I can safely say you were very much, they got them, guess what? Squirrels are delicious!
Yeah. Oh, so
Gitamon is a much more violent version of our dog.
So normally when I get sound effects back from Rel, it's all one file, but you may be noticing that there's some cuts along the track here. That's because this section was also flagged by copyright, so this section also had to get re-edited. I re-edited this episode maybe 3 times before the thing that got flagged was actually the Digivolution sequence. And at that point, I was like, I'm not going to re-edit that. No, go to hell, YouTube. So at that point, we just decided, well, we just have to dispute. Because I would try to edit around copyright as much as I can before resorting to that.
Oh yeah, just to make our job easier.
Easier on you, maybe.
Yeah. Because then we have to rewrite things.
Though
I also
here,
just want to throw out one more little piece of trivia for the writing for the three main Digimon.
I just have to say
when we were,
this is my favorite shot.
oh yeah, didn't you like take a picture of Assistant Terriermon and send that to Kudu like this face?
Yeah, there was a assistant Tyrion card that had the smuggest shit face. I was like, "Could I need you to do this," and she was like, "I'm on it."
But yeah, the thing I wanted to say was when I had like an idea of who these three main Digimon are, Terriermon, obviously he's like the little gremlin. Renamon, we sort of perceive her as a little bit of a samurai serving her lord. In this case, Rika. And for Guillemon, very much just a more feral version of our dog, except our dog doesn't actually attack squirrels. She runs up and just looks at them and goes, "Play. Why aren't you running? We're playing."
She is
She
very
does not
bad
know
at
how to
dog.
dog. Yeah, she does not know how to dog. Yes, Alec, you know the code.
Latest episode of Digi Destiny. If you know, you know. But yeah, we're
Speaking of Digi
very.
Destiny, we have another stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
That is correct.
March 23rd. Here we go.
Oh, so excited. But yeah, this episode was so much fun to edit, and it was just incredible to finally get the main trio together.
Oh, yeah.
We-
Episode 1 was really difficult because the bulk of it was just Akado by himself, needing to be funny by himself.
That's
Now we have people for him to bounce off of, other people's wit to enter into the fights. It's going to be so fun to have his group build out into an ensemble.
Nick. No, Nick. No.
Nick, don't do it.
Nick, I see Nick comments like, "I have prepared the trauma once again." Nick, no.
Don't do it. This drama will continue until morale improves.
Trauma
How
will
can morale
return.
improve if you keep traumatizing us?
Trauma will return in Avengers Endgame. But yeah, Takao being by himself a lot was also why we kind of made him an underdog and bad at the TCG. Just so it's like there's some more comedy. Flaws equal comedy. If your character is perfect, it's going to be hard to make them funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, just look at Daffy Duck. The man is one of the best examples of like underdog humor. He's always fighting uphill.
And he's also a joke. So it's like
being a joke
flaws.
is easy for fun, for the ha-has.
Between Adventure and Tamers, which one are you having more fun with, or is it equally fun? They're equally fun for different reasons.
Oh yeah.
Working with Chase is just so fucking funny. The dude's incredible.
Chase is a fantastic writer. Working with him, I actually credit a lot of my and Red's growth as writers on our own to working with Chase. We're already fairly good writers in our own right, but sort of working with Chase for Digimon Adventures just really gave us a different level of appreciation for what we can do with writing.
Yeah,
So
it definitely helped us level up. Was Tamers?
it's
no-
special to us.
Yeah, and it's no secret that everyone kind of acknowledges Tamers as having the tightest story out of all of them. So it's really fun to tackle that element.
Also, it has both of our favorite Digimon in it.
That's right, Rapidmon and Guillemon.
But
If you know my favorite Digimon, you know my favorite Digimon.
but yeah, Digimon has the best and more than likely the darkest story. I haven't kept up with the Ghost game. I intend to watch it. But yeah, we are very excited to get to that. If you know, you know.
Yeah. I saw someone comment on episode 2 that it's going to be fun to hear Jerry when we get to when we get to the D Reaper.
Oh, yeah, reveal the no.
Listen, if they're here, they know.
Yeah,
If you're
that's
watching
fair.
this without Lord Endo, watch Digimon Tamers. The D Reaper is easily the most terrifying enemy they ever face, and that includes Dragomon.
That includes the Aboromon and the Armageddon. But yeah.
But yeah, we're really excited to continue Digimon Tamers, and episode 3 is kind of in the works in the background while. Oh, that actually reminds me. If you go to the Patreon right now, you will be able to see the first 3 minutes of Digimon Abridged episode 9. That's right, we have progress on adventure, finally.
Huzzah! We are so excited to get back to Digimon Adventures. Episode 9 was so much fun to work on with Chase.
Yes.
And a little piece of trivia, we actually scripted episode 9 and something else along with it. So
Also, you might hear a familiar voice in those 3 minutes playing everyone's favorite pile of shit.
Sukaman.
Yeah.
Nick, you still in the chat? Call yourself out.
Oh, you ruined the surprise.
You ruined my surprise earlier. How about this?
I'll fight you in the parking lot.
Meet me at the 7-Eleven parking lot in 3 minutes. Bring
You
your
got
A game. I made you evil, not rude. Devimon is just so much fun to write for. But yeah, Ed, is there anything else you want to cover?
No, I think that's it. The ending of the episode was fun to write. But yeah, I think that pretty much covers it.
Oh yeah, there is actually one last thing I want to cover about the writing for this is the wrong lesson to take from this. Tamers has this weird thing it does in the first arc where it feels like our heroes learn the same lesson twice.
Yeah, with Henry feels like he learns the same lesson twice. Rika feels like she learns the same lesson twice. So we just decided to play into that.
Yeah, so no one learns anything yet.
Also, I'm sorry that there's one more episode in between it, but y'all gonna get some premium Susie content in episode 4.
Ah, I am so excited to get those lines.
I've read it to Riku and he just fucking dies. Yeah, so the tables goes places. All right. So exhausted Yami, did you both feel like should have had a bit more build up? Maybe I can see an argument for that, but I also feel as though like they didn't know what was coming as far as our protagonists knew. So the Sovereign's trying, well, it's Grandma trying to steal Callum, spoilers, trying to take, you know what, back for, so they can all Digivolve to fight it. Kind of made sense.
Well, the Abridged series proceed faster than the OG series. We actually don't know yet. While we have an overview of the series itself, there's a potential for some episodes to be merged together, but we don't know quite yet how we're going to go about doing that or if we will.
Also,
Digimon Tamers is a much more methodical beast.
Also, if that's referring to if this will be made faster than Adventure, that's also going to be kind of a case-by-case basis because one, Storm is stepping up to become my assistant editor. Dude, you're
assistant, if you will.
Yes. So he's going to be helping me behind the scenes on creating these episodes to help overall production go faster. And I do kind of have a rule that if we have a adventure episode in the chamber, it gets priority treatment. Because Storm and I are the only writers on this, we can kind of work on these in the background. So there will kind of constantly be a background work on Tamers, whereas when Adventures does come into the focus, it will get priority treatment. So it's hard to say how that will play out in terms of speed and production.
I'm
I
sure
do.
we'll actually Alex, like how 8 was 2 episodes combined. This episode 2 was actually 2 episodes combined very subtly.
Yeah.
The actual second episode of Tamers is more just Takado more on his own, meeting Henry at school, Guillemon running off on his own, but there wasn't a lot of meat for the comedy there. So when I just took the beginning part of that and just combined it with the part of episode 3 of Tamers where Takado meets Rika.
Yeah, so we have this beginning stuff with his family, getting the goggles, and then we jump to the end with them at the park, which is when
Which is also where we pull the principal getting his leg ripped off in our version.
Yeah, we also use this this bit here with the principal. We use this at the end of episode 1 too. So we kind of recycled unused content. As a matter of fact, we used the whole Goblymon stuff here for the promo for as the coming soon for the series.
So it's very likely that we will end up combining episodes, but we just don't know yet which ones will ultimately get that kind of treatment.
Storm cosplaying as Assistariumon.
I'll fucking do it. Get the schmucks to a con and we'll fucking do it.
Yeah, Tamers actually opens things up a little bit cleaner to merge things in certain regards. It's going to be really interesting to see how we tackle the episode after Growlmon shows up, because that episode is all about him learning how to de-digivolve. And I don't know if we're going to actually adapt that. I don't know if that's going to be...
Let's not give away too much just yet, though.
Okay. We'll figure that.
Oh, yeah. Is there anything else we want to talk about, Red?
Please tell me someone will get maimed in episode 3. Maybe.
I mean, a lot can happen in episode 3.
I mean, Digimon or human?
Because we have the teacher in episode 1, we have Henry's dad in episode 2. We're 2 for 2 right now. Both of them legs.
Huh. We do have something leg adjacent in episode 3.
I feel like I might be projecting a little, because I love both of those injuries. If you know, you know.
Alright. So I think that's going to wrap things up with us here. Thank you all so much for joining us on this behind the scenes.
We look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the DG Destiny game.
Yes, thank you. You can catch that tomorrow.
Plug.
You can catch that tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you can go to the Schmuck Squad's Patreon for a quick look at Digimon Adventure Episode 9. The first 3 minutes of that are finished. So, yeah. It's a good week for Digimon.
Oh, yeah. So excited. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. So much more to come.
Oh, yeah.
We've been your hosts.
Yeah. Once again, I'd like to thank you, Storm, for accompanying me on this.
Happy to be here, man. Love working on Digimon.
Yes. All right. We'll catch you all next time. And knowing most of you are in the server,